Form 4 KSSM Biology. Chapter 5. We were learning on metabolism in our last class, metabolisma. If you remember, we learned a few terms, so I'm just going to quiz you to see if you remember a few of these things. There's two kinds of process that happens in our body in terms of metabolisma. One of it is called catabolism, one more is called anabolism. So which one is for building something and which one is to hancurkan something? Yang mana untuk membina, yang mana untuk membinasa. Okay, so that's the first thing for you to think about. From there we went to enzyme. Kita belajar macam mana kita nak namakan enzyme. The old name of enzyme had a lot of sin, right? S-I-N, S-I-N. Dan nama-nama yang baru has A-S-E, A-S-E. Okay, ACE. So, yeah, some of the sifat-sifat umum of enzyme, if you still remember, there's a few sifat. Firstly, what is enzyme? Enzyme is something yang mempercepatkan kadar tindak balas. It actually increases the rate of reaction. It makes digestion faster. It makes processes much faster, right? Secondly, enzyme is needed. Do you need it a lot or do you need it little bit? So I'm going to ask you a few questions and you're just going to answer by yourself, okay? So first thing is, does enzymes act fast? Adakah dia bertindak dengan pantas or does it act slow? Second thing, like I said, do you need a bit or do you need a lot? Yang ketiga, does the structure get destroyed? Does it get changed? Adakah struktur enzim berubah lepas satu tindak balas? Fourth, is it specific or is it not specific? Okay, maksudnya kalau satu enzim tu boleh tak kita gunakan untuk banyak-banyak substrate? And then, once you guna the enzyme, okay, contohnya lah glucosa plus with fructosa, kamu akan dapat sucrosa, you will get sucrose. So what enzyme do you use there? You use sucrase. So can I use the same enzyme sucrase to hydrolyze, to pecahkan the sucrose to become back glucose and fructose? That's for you to think about. How do we make an enzyme work faster? Macam mana kita nak enzyme tu bertindak balas dengan lebih laju, lebih cepat? So that's for you to think also. There is something called as cofactor or what we call as coenzyme. There's two contoh, very famous contoh of cofactor coenzyme. One of it is vitamin something. One more is one kind of ion. If you forget all this, open your notes, guys. You have to see it. Okay? That is to make the enzyme bertindak balas dengan cepat. Macam mana kalau kita nak perlahankan enzyme? Kalau kita nak enzyme tersebut tidak berfungsi, there is something that will stop the enzyme from working. That something is called as, in Malay we say perencat. In English we call it as, don't know. So that's for you to find out yourself, guys. Alright, and from there we went to the next page. Yes, if you go to page 88 of your textbook, we learned about the kind of enzymes yang wujud dalam badan kami. There is intracell and extra. Extra means exit, keluar daripada sel. Intra means inside the cell, digunakan di dalam sel tersebut, right? Most of the extra cell adalah enzim yang berkaitan dengan pencernaan. For example, amylase, you know, it is secreted outside the cell. That's why it's found in your saliva. Okay. For any enzyme to be created, ada proses dia. Sebab the best factory in the world, kilang yang terbaik, is our cell. And enzymes are all protein. Okay, most of them actually, majority of them are protein. Okay. So, whenever you want to make a protein, the first thing is you must have the information of the protein. Okay, kamu perlukan maklumat, and that comes, the only person who can hold this information for you is called your DNA. Okay, DNA kamu memang ada maklumat. And from there, somebody needs to understand this information, and that somebody is called RNA. RNA ini akan mentafsirkan, akan memahami maklumat DNA tersebut. And then you got to take this information, and you got to go to the kilang yang akan membuat protein. And who is that kilang? That kilang is called ribosome. And ribosome is sitting down on RER atau jalinan endoplasma kasar. And from there you'll have some process, and then you will go to the Golgi apparatus, blah blah blah. Read yourself, okay? Because we have covered that. Next, page 89. All enzymes in the world work on a hypothesis known as a lock and key, iaitu mangga dan kunci. You can't say key and lock. It doesn't work like that. Okay, it's lock and key hypothesis, which is mangga dan kunci. Okay, basically you all know how a lock works and how a key works. Only one key is needed to open that one lock. You cannot simply use any key you want, right? So always remember, one key, one lock. One enzyme, one substrate, specific. Okay. And enzymes can also reduce the activation energy, tenaga pengaktifan. Then, enzymes are not always 100% perfect. They are affected by 4 factors at least. Kita dapat 4 faktor yang mempengaruhi tindakan enzim. This is what we've learned. The first one is called temperature. So what happens when the temperature is very low? The enzyme becomes what? Then when it's at 37 degree, we say the enzyme is very optimum. And then if it's very high temperature, you know, the enzyme becomes, we can't say destroyed, we say denatured, ternyah asli. The 3D structure terhilang, it's gone, it's destroyed, it's disrupted. And the active site, the most important place called the tapa active. Active site is where you put the key inside, you know. That's called the active site. And if that bentuk berubah, maka kita kata enzim tersebut tak boleh berfungsi dah. Okay, it's already useless. Next, pH. Every enzyme has its optimum pH. There is some enzyme which can work in an acidic medium, some in an alkali, and some in a neutral pH. So you got to find out which enzyme can work for what. Until there, I've covered with you all in class. There's 2 more for me to cover right now, which I'm covering in this class. One of it is called, if you look at page 91, Plaja. Okay. One of it is called the substrate concentration, kepekatan substrat, and the other one is called the enzyme concentration, kepekatan enzyme. So actually these two, right, it's almost the same thing. It works almost the same, this contra to each other. I will just take the 4th one because it's easier to understand, to explain. It's called kepekatan enzyme, yeah? Okay. Pelajar cuba bayangkan, right now, let's say, just give me a second. Okay. Cuba bayangkan right now you've got 10 substrate. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5 substrate. Okay, ni adalah substrate. And you got 1 enzyme only. So what will happen is every substrate can bergabung with 1 enzyme at only 1 time pada setiap satu masa. So when this fella sedang bergabung here, this substrate is wasting their time lepaking there, waiting, thinking, this fella when lah gonna finish faster lah, I so want to, you know, pecah. So it's like you're going to a bangunan pejabat, sebenarnya ada 5 counter dekat sana tapi hanya 1 counter yang buka. Mestilah akan jadi perlahan, kan? So this is the 1 counter that's open, everybody is waiting for the counter. Yang counter lain tu kamu boleh jual curry puff ke, jual pisang goreng ke apa, orang pun boleh makan lah. Anyways, so kalau kita nak cepatkan, if you want to make this faster, what do we do? If you're in a government company, you open the other counters. Because when another counter is open now, daripada nak tunggu orang ni habis, this fella can come here. Right? So, isn't this a faster reaction? Why is it faster? Kerana substrat kamu sedang digunakan, sedang dicernakan. Kamu tak payahlah bazir masa kamu. Because it's going to be digested right now. Kan? Okay. Then if you want to make it faster, open 1 more account, open 1 more counter. So the more counters you buka, the more the speed will increase. Lebih cepat, semakin laju. Kenapa? Because all of them no need to waste time, they can react serta-merta. So itu yang saya nak bagi tahu dekat kamu pelajar, bahawa counter-counter ni adalah sebenarnya kepekatan enzim. This is called as enzyme concentration. And when you increase the amount of enzymes, it means that more and more substrate can actually bergabung. That's all we want. Okay? So I hope you understand that the higher the enzyme, the higher the reaction. But wait, what if we think, okay, let's open some more counter. Okay, imagine you're a bangunan kerajaan, kamu buka je lah ni, kamu buka until here. Pelajar, memang kamu akan buka lebih banyak counter. Yes, you are increasing more enzyme. But does this mean that there's going to be more reaction happening? Do you think the reaction will increase? The answer is no. Why? Because all these people are already here reacting. This is actually a waste of time. There is nothing happening. So then we call this a limiting factor. That means this thing will happen only until 1 level. After that, you cannot simply increase. Why? Because there's not enough substrate pula. So the substrate is what we call the limiting factor, iaitu faktor penghat. Faktor penghat. So that means this is the guy who is limiting you from going up. This is the part that becomes flat. The substrate becomes the limiting factor. So if you want to increase the graph, you got to add more and more substrate. Then it will make sense dan graph tu boleh naik semula. Itu je. So kalau kamu faham graph ni, kamu terbalikkan je, cerita dia akan jadi sama untuk kepekatan substrat for substrate concentration. So please try that out. Just try to hafal this thing, try to understand this, should be enough. So can you please look at your notes right now? I'd like to explain a few things from there. Alright. Pergi ke muka surat 91, and I would like you to have a look at here, the effect of enzyme concentration. Okay, let's go through the steps together. Number 1. When the concentration of enzyme increases, correct. This is the one. When the concentration of enzyme increases, the rate of enzyme reaction will increase. Why? Because of the presence of more active site. Highlight, kerana kehadiran lebih banyak tapak aktif which is ready for catalytic action, untuk tindak balas pemangkinan. Point number 2. If the concentration of an enzyme in one reaction is double, the amount of substrate is converted to products per unit time. You have to hafal this. The amount of products converted to product per unit time is also double, with the condition that there is excess substrate. So like I said here, when you add more counters, your reaction can go up, but janji you have more substrate there, then only this thing can happen. Okay, point number 2, sekiranya kepekatan enzim dalam satu tindak balas digandakan, jumlah substrat yang ditukar kepada produk per unit masa juga digandakan, dengan syarat bekalan substrat adalah berlebihan. Okay, the substrate supply should be excess. Number 3, at the maximum rate, if all the counter is opening and everybody is reacting, okay, pada tahap maximum, the concentration of the substrate becomes this is the word limiting factor, menjadi faktor penghat. Okay, faktor penghat, which means the rate of reaction can only be increased if you go and add more substrate. Now only the graph can go higher. If not, the graph will be flat. So that is it for the 4 factors. And if you go to page 95, just to conclude this, do we use enzymes in our everyday life? Okay, adakah kita menggunakan enzim dalam kehidupan seharian? And the answer is yes, we use it for a lot. And I would like to tell you the types of enzyme that we have. Okay, so please look at page 95. Pergi ke muka surat 95. Okay, you'll see all this picture and all. Alright. So just look at perenggan yang kedua, ya. Perenggan kedua. Immobilized enzymes, enzim yang tersekat gerak, are enzymes that combine with inert and insoluble substance to increase the resistance of enzyme towards change in factors such as pH and temperature. Okay, we know, right, kalau kamu ambil enzim begitu sahaja, kemungkinan dalam beberapa suhu enzim tersebut tidak boleh berfungsi. So we make it immobilized, meaning that we add something to make it more tahan to the temperature as well as the pH change. Okay, I continue. Melalui cara ini, with this method, the enzyme molecules will remain in the same position throughout the catalytic reaction and then be separated easily from its product. Okay, so enzyme ni takkan berubah bentuk dia, dia akan kekal dalam kedudukan dia, dan lepas tindak balas dah habis, senang nak asingkan daripada hasil yang dia telah dapat, okay, hasil yang telah keluar. And what is this technology called? It's called IET, Immobilized Enzyme Technology. Immobilized Enzyme Technology. Teknologi imobilasi enzim. Okay, TIE in Malay, Thai, and here is IET. Okay, yet. Yeah. So what kind of enzymes do we use in our daily life? You can go through this entire picture. It's quite famous. I'll go through one by one. Number 1, digestive enzymes are used in medical sector. Kadang-kadang kita bagi ubat kan, supaya sebab ada orang yang macam orang tua atau orang yang ada penyakit, they can't secrete their enzyme, so we give them this medicine, okay, for them to help them with their breakdown. Okay. Yang kedua, lactose. Lactose enzymes are used. The lactose enzyme we're talking about is called lactase actually. It's used in lactose-free milk. Some people have this condition called lactose intolerance. Okay, mereka tidak boleh menghadamkan laktosa. So apa yang akan berlaku adalah kalau mereka minum susu yang biasa atau sebagainya atau keju ke apa, mereka tak boleh digest keju atau susu tersebut. Okay, they can't do that. So when we put this enzyme inside, they can suddenly drink milk, eat cheese because they can digest the lactose enzyme. Okay. Pectinase and cellulase. Pectinase and cellulase actually we use in fruit juice. You can see, right, fruit juice macam juice apple ke apa, it's always very clear kan. Why? Because they actually removed all the pectin. They make sure that the juice is not cloudy. Sebab dia takut kalau juice tu keruh, kamu akan rasa macam tu adalah air daripada sungai atau air daripada longkang, dan memang kamu takkan minum air tersebut. Because it looks very cloudy and dirty, you'll be like, yeah, I don't drink this thing, looks yucky. You make the juice clear and nice, everybody say, wow, very fresh, nice looking juice, come we drink. So that's the enzyme we use. Dalam detergent pun kita gunakan enzyme, amylase, lipase, all this is very famous. Why? Nak mengeluarkan sisa-sisa kotoran yang dalam baju kamu tu, mungkin ada lemak yang kena ke, darah yang kena ke. So you need all that in the detergent. Next, protease enzyme. In industry, when they make sardine and all that, dia tak ada masa nak duduk sana dan siang kulit ikan tersebut. Memang